Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Lovely to see you all. I am Tom, co-founder CEO at Ocular, and yeah, very glad to have you joining live. And we've got a lot to get through then in the next 20 minutes. So I'll keep the pace up. Hopefully every minute will be useful. So here we go. So who here feels like search has completely changed in the last 12 months? AEO, ACP, UCP. Today, we're going to walk through the 18 defining terms of the new era of product discovery. So I'll explain why each concept matters to your bottom line and leave you with the cheat sheet to take back to your team. We're going to aim to get it all done inside 20 minutes. So with that, cast your mind back to 1998. Amazon had been around for just about 3 years and had 1.5 million users. So at that time, most major retailers looked at that and thought, interesting, definitely not urgent. Some of them would be actively discussing it, but then deciding to wait and see. Is this going to be the next big thing that we want to be partnering with or doing something similar to compete with? We all know how that story ended. So these brands were once dominant in their sector. And then the way people discovered and shopped and transacted the products they sell changed fundamentally. And they underestimated that shift. They thought they had time. They optimized for the world that they were in rather than what the world was fast becoming. And we're not bringing this up to be dramatic. So we're bringing it up because we're at an identical moment right now in agentic commerce. So the numbers are different, technology is different, but the decision, which is whether you engage seriously or wait and see, is exactly the same right now. Today, AI tools have hundreds of millions of users. And if your products aren't discoverable within these AI ecosystems, you're already missing out on some serious traffic that's only growing exponentially. But we're not here to say that AI is going to kill your business. We're here to tell you that the retailers who thrive in the next 5 years are going to be the ones who understand this shift and act early enough and don't just talk about it internally. So just like in 1998, product discovery is changing again. And because the way we shop has changed, the language that we're going to use as e-commerce leaders is changing as well. New terms, new strategies, new playbooks. If you don't understand the language of what each of the acronyms mean, you can't compete in this new world. So here's what we're going to do. Break down 18 key terms for each one. Why does it matter? What does it change? What should you do? Again, all in keeping inside that 20-minute barrier that we set. So we've grouped everything into 4 areas: how search itself is changing, checkout and infrastructure, how to optimize in the new world, and where all of this is going. So we're going to start with search. So 20 years, that's how long product discovery funnel has pretty much looked the same. You open Google, you type in a keyword, you get links, you browse, you compare, you buy, maybe. It's slow, fragmented, and honestly quite exhausting looking back now at some of the discovery we had to do manually. Now, most people are starting to just ask AI, and AI will do all of those research steps in seconds. No browsing, no hopping between review sites. The AI has done the entire consideration phase on your customer's behalf. And right now, you probably have a very limited influence over what AI is deciding. You're either the answer or you're invisible. So behind all of this are LLMs, so large language models. And early data suggests traffic from AI converts significantly better than traditional Google. And why is that? It's because by the time someone clicks, the decision is basically already made. And also, this is important, AI doesn't just pick up the top results from Google. So ranking number 1 on Google no longer guarantees visibility. So even within AI overviews, the AI summary feature at the top of the Google search results, you can rank first organically and still not appear on those. And you can rank nowhere near the top and still get cited in an AI overview. So how do LLMs decide which products to recommend? So query fan out helps explain this. On Google, if someone searched best running shoes, you basically needed to rank for that phrase, which was pretty simple. But when someone types that same thing into ChatGPT, it explodes that query out into comfort, durability, use case, price, performance, and builds the full answer from that found out query. So now you're not optimizing for a single query or a single keyword. Your product content needs to be rich enough that the AI can find you across those multiple different angles that will result from a fan out query from quite a simple initial term. And here's query fan out in practice. So this is an actual ChatGPT result for best running shoes under £100. And if you just have a look at how it's structured, it's not a list of links. It's a reasoned set of recommendations, each one matched to a specific use case. It's doing the job that blog posts, comparison sites, even product category pages used to do. Best for beginners, best for wide feet, best for trail running. The brands that appear in results like this didn't get there by accident. They got there because their product data was rich enough for the AI to understand who would use their shoe and why. And the brands that aren't there didn't give the AI enough to work with. So SEO still matters, but on its own, it's no longer enough. You need to optimize for how AI understands and selects products. And here's the paradox, I guess, at the heart of AI commerce. So AI is making it dramatically easier for customers to find the right product. Discovery experience has never been better. But at the same time, as a brand or a retailer, you've got less control over that discovery process than you've ever had before. So you can't buy your way to the top of ChatGPT yet. And the way you get the way that you buy Google Ad. You can't A/B test your way into an overview. AI makes discovery easier, but brands lose control of the journey. And so for the past 6 months, OpenAI has been testing something called instant checkout in the US. You find a product inside ChatGPT and you can buy it without ever leaving that chat infrastructure. We'd love to tell you that's launching this month, but the actual update is that OpenAI pulled back from instant checkout, at least for now. They've decided to direct customers to merchants' own native checkouts instead. So that means you still own your own checkout experience, which is good. But don't mistake AI stepping back from commerce. In fact, the underlying protocol that powered instant checkout, which is ACP, is still very much alive. And so think of agentic commerce protocol as the language that allows AI to talk to an e-commerce platform. So thanks to ACP, an LLM can browse products, check availability, and potentially in the future transact entirely. So it's the underpinning of what makes agentic commerce possible. So even without instant checkout, ACP is really important right now. AI-driven product discovery is only going to grow. And if your platform doesn't speak ACP, then the AI is going to have a much harder time traversing the surface area of your website and your e-commerce site. And so if ACP is specifically about commerce, UCP then is the broader version. So it's the standard for how AI agents connect to tools and APIs across any domain. So why does UCP matter for e-commerce? It's because as AI agents become more capable, they're going to start operating across multiple systems simultaneously. So they'll be checking your calendar, your budget, your previous purchasers, your preferred retailers all at once before making a recommendation. So UCP is the foundation for making cross-system behavior possible. And that leads into AI mode, which is Google's move. So a fully dedicated AI search experience. So Google is actively working on commerce integrations within AI mode. So UCP could enable checkout directly within it. So just watch this space closely. Instant checkout might make a comeback this year. Yeah. Before any of this works, though, AI has to have access to your site. And here's a mistake we see all the time, which is brands blocking AI crawlers in robots.txt, which basically makes them invisible in AI search. So one quick win to make sure within all of your organizations, just make sure that as a website, you're not blocking GPT bot or Claude bot today, and therefore making yourself invisible to those agents. So at this point, 2 options: ignore the shift and risk missing out on the next Amazon, or start optimizing for it. So let's talk about how. You'll hear a lot of acronyms. Here's the simple way to think about it. AIO is the umbrella, AI search optimization. So under that, you're going to have AEO, which is short structured answers that are optimized for an AI overview. And then you're going to have geo, which is the deeper contextual recommendations, optimizing for things like ChatGPT. Both matter because AI serves both types of responses to the user. And how do you optimize for AI search? So it's important to include the use cases in your product copy. So people don't just search for, if we're in America, work pants anymore. They ask AI for durable pants, lots of pockets for shift work. And if your product content doesn't match that language, you won't appear. So you need to state explicitly who is your product for and the specific problem it solves. So you need really good attributes and up-to-date taxonomy, but that isn't enough because they're still attributes about a product. If you just leave it at that stage, an agent still has to do the work to understand with what my customer needs or my user, does this set of attributes actually match? Much better to do the legwork for the agent by specifying the use cases exactly. So data enrichment. This is one of the biggest opportunities. Most brands have some of the basics in place when it comes to product data, a title, brand, model, price. But that's not enough, as I was just saying, for a database. What AI needs is rich, up-to-date attributes, clear context, use cases, and then signals. So the richer the data, the more likely AI is to recommend you. So you've got the agentic surface layer, which is doing all the discovery, and then you need to set up the product data layer that's optimized for those agents to make their life easier so they recommend you more than your competitors. So on the left is what a lot of brands might provide. So just the basic spec info about the product. But AI needs so much more. It needs the battery life, the specific materials, the noise reduction levels, the use cases. Where would you use this product? Is it good for an airplane? Is it good for a busy library? Whatever that might be. So imagine a customer asks GPT, recommend comfortable noise cancelling headphones that I can use at the gym for a long workout. The product on the left simply won't appear. The product on the right will appear and get recommended specifically because it will call out the gym use case, long sessions. And so it's got that rich data for the agent to match to. How else can you optimize? So LLMS.text is an emerging concept. So this is a plain text file that tells AI exactly what's important on your site. So use this for your bestsellers and your category pages. Is it proven yet? Not yet. Is it worth doing? Probably. It's low effort and it's future-proofing your site as and when this could take off. And if you decide to implement this as a way forwards, this is how we do the practical guide. So you want AI to focus on high-valued pages, structured content, decision-making assets. So these are the pages where you've got the most to gain from AI visibility, and avoid any messy, duplicated or low intent pages. So last optimization tip for today, and this is a really important one. So when AI reads your product or listings page, it will not read the whole page at once. It'll read it in chunks, and then it will retrieve the most relevant chunk to answer the specific question that it's been tasked with. So every single section on your page needs to make sense on its own. So if you use words like it or this without the context of what that's referring to, the AI is going to get confused. And if the AI doesn't understand, it won't recommend your product or service or listing on there. And everything we've covered so far is just the beginning. So at Ocular, this is where we think it's all heading. You don't browse, you don't compare, you tell the agent what you want, and it will do the rest. Search, comparison, checkout, all compressed into one step, which is ultimately agentic commerce. And AI shopping agents already exist, so shoppers are already using them. So some can research, compare, monitor prices, and even buy automatically. So we've got GPT Atlas, Perplexity Comet, Amazon Rufus. So the future is already beginning, and we can see it across these, multi-billion-pound platforms already live. So e-commerce took decades to reach scale. Agentic commerce is going to reach similar levels in just a few years. That's how fast this shift is happening. It's 7 times faster already than the original internet revolution. I realise we covered a lot of ground fast. We're 4 minutes ahead of schedule, which is good. But let me give what's a reason to believe. Why listen to us at Ocular? And we've spent the last 4 years just in dedicated R&D in this space, learning what the frontier models need and how to be recommended. So in the past 6 months alone, we've optimized millions of products for AI search, which does include SEO, because these two things are not mutually exclusive. You can do both in parallel. And we've helped brands use strategies we've talked about today to gain the extra 8 to 10% in organic traffic uplift. So there are going to be the winners and losers in this. And I think whether that's partnering with Ocular or anyone else, it would just be a call to act today. It's going to be a topic of discussion, I'm sure, in your organizations. It was the main topic of discussion last week at Shop Talk in the US. Stop to optimize, richer data, use cases, up-to-date copy, give the agents the data to fuel their recommendations in there. So we've covered 18 terms in just under 20 minutes. Hopefully that's clear and aren't just vocabulary. They're a framework for how to think about what's happening right now in search and commerce. And if you take nothing else from today, check your robots.txt, make sure you allow GPT-bot and Claude-bot, audit your product data against, for example, the headphone example to make sure you're discoverable, and start thinking in chunks and use cases, not only adding keywords in. So do follow us on LinkedIn for industry updates and more content like this. You can book a demo and we'll make a link available, or we can send out this pack if you want to share it internally. And I think what we'd like to do, if people need to drop at 20 minutes, totally fine, but we're also definitely up for any questions that people have if they want to submit any now. We're looking around. Do we have any?